Hey, this is Mary. Welcome to Voices of Vets, a podcast where we meet real veterans and hear their stories. Well, thank you, Paige, for being with me today. And this is Paige Wood, and we are on Voices of Vets. And first of all, I want to ask, Paige, did you serve?
I did. I served in the United States Navy.
Right. Awesome. And tell me why you chose that branch.
I think I saw a poster of a Navy sailor. He was a nice-looking man, young. He was an enlisted man wearing dress blues, and he was standing on the dock of a harbor in a foreign city, and it looked exciting. I was just caught up in the moment of that.
Okay. How old were you?
I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm. Did you come from a military family?
No, I did not. My father worked in the shipyard during the war. That was a position that was exempt from serving. It was he helped build the ships that helped defend the country.
Okay. And so, other than the poster, what really motivated you to join the Navy?
I think mostly what motivated me was I felt like at 17, just getting out of high school, I felt like my life was ending and not beginning. Mm. I felt like my future here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, had no direction or purpose, and I saw that of the adventure of the Navy being my escape into a better world.
Okay. So, did you go to boot camp?
Oh, I did.
What was that like?
I enjoyed boot camp. I enjoyed we were eating 3 times a day. You had your own bed. In bunks and in these bunk rooms. We got plenty of exercise. We did all kinds of running and exercises, and we learned to march. We learned to carry a rifle. I thought that was odd in the beginning. I thought the Navy was all about ships and maybe tying ropes or something. But they put a great deal of emphasis in 1964 on shooting guns.
Okay. So you were in from 1964 until...
I was in the U.S. Navy for the next 9 years. I went on what they called a kiddie cruise. That's a 3-year enlistment, and that got invalidated. They didn't honor that, and I had to re-enlist for a longer time enlistment to do what I wanted to do. You get to pick and choose in the Navy where you want to go, what you want to be. And if you qualify, and you qualify by your physical or mental ability, your aptitude is what they call it, and if you got length in service that they feel like they're going to get back from you what they're giving you in training.
So you're an investment.
That's right. I think everyone is.
Mm-hmm. So what was your primary job after training?
My primary training and job was I'm a weapons expert. I'm a torpedoman by Navy terminology. You wear that rank and insignia of a torpedo, but what it means is you become a weapons expert. Everything from a small caliber handgun, right in my specialty area, right on up to a nuclear weapon.
Nuclear weapons.
A nuclear weapon.
Okay.
They had at the time. I was trained on the maintenance and the care and the shooting and the protecting of a nuclear armed torpedo. And also, the submarines that I was later serving on carried missiles. Each submarine has 2 crews complete, from the captain to the cook. So I was on what they called the gold crew. We would go to sea for 3 months. We would be off for 3 months. Not exactly off, but not at sea. And so the gold crew would take the boat, go out for 3 months, and then we'd come back. We would offload. The blue crew would take over, and they'd go out for 3 months.
Okay.
That process was in 1964. It's in progress right now today, although they've cut the time from 3 months cruises down to 2 months.
Okay. So what all countries, where all did you go?
Well, part of that answer is classified in that these nuclear submarines, once they leave their home, they disappear. And the idea is nobody can find them. That's the deterrent element of the nuclear submarine, the nuclear armed submarine. So where we went is top secret, or even beyond top secret. I will tell you that before we were commissioned as a warship, we were part of the U.S. Navy, although we had to do certain things to become a warship. So during that time, we were testing the boat. Was it built correctly? Did we learn to operate it correctly? We went around the world several times. We went through the Panama Canal several times. We crossed the equator multiple times. All the time zones we went through and so forth, where if you stayed in a certain area, one day would you change days 3 or 4 times. Huh. The trip through the Panama Canal was very impressive. It just looked so strange for that nuclear submarine to be on that in the middle of the jungle down in Panama. It just felt funny and looked funny. There are a number of men, myself being one of them, that had a purpose to be topside all the time. That you're working for the captain and you're the lookout for the boat while you're up there. Of course, you got electronics really looking out for you, but they still depend on a Navy sailor and his eyes and what he can see. We'd surface somewhere, and we will be allowed to go swimming. Where you just jump overboard into the wider ocean, and swim, come back on board. Where everybody doesn't like to swim or do that, but most people did.
Tell me what rank you're most proud to have earned. Well,
yeah, proud to earn any rank in the United States Navy and Special Services. Every one of them was important, and like every one of them was necessary to get to the next one. Every one of them required certain different things. So you built on your skill level and your knowledge level, and you graduated up to being allowed to go the next step. The most important was getting qualified in the where you could wear the dolphins. The dolphin is the only trademark that separates us from anybody else that only a submariner can wear. And so earning those was the highlight of everything. And of course, all the rank is good because rank comes privilege. Oh. And so you get more money and you get more time off and stuff like that, benefits. Plus, you also get more responsibility. So it's a give and take.
Okay. Paige, did you earn any medals or citations?
Yes, I did. You don't set out to do that, and that's not an objective. It happens almost by circumstance and about the career choices that you made. There are a lot of sailors that join the United States Navy that never get on a boat. They call them ships. You call submarines boats, and you call ships that float on the ocean, like in the big Navy, ships. Well, there are many people in the Navy that never go to sea. I can't imagine that. Why not be a soldier, you know? So when I joined the Navy, I wanted to be on a boat and I wanted to go to sea. And so during that, when I joined in 1964, we had a war going on. And so anytime that a military person, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guardman, anybody in the U.S. service branch, if they go into a war zone, they're automatically awarded a campaign ribbon for even being there in harm's way. And you get hazardous duty pay. You did in the submarine service. And so that's all I can speak about with authority. So earned quite a few ribbons and commemorative awards.
Any one stand out in your mind that you want to tell us about, how you got that or what it was?
No, nothing stands out that I could even talk about like that even today. A lot of what I did in the United States Navy is still sealed. I don't know if it's a 50-year seal or a 100-year seal. I'm not sure about that. We were top secret crypto. That's a level above top secret. Every man on board on that boat and what we did, and on the other boats like us. And so, I don't know.
Okay. Can you tell me about some of the special people you met?
I sure can. I met men from all over the country, from north to south, east and west. I thought it was strange that we had several men from like New Mexico and Arizona and Montana, and I'm thinking, guys, what are you doing in the Navy? You know, some of those men had never even seen the ocean before they joined the Navy, and I enjoyed meeting men from different areas of the country. And but the most remarkable man I met the entire time that I was in the Navy was the submarine captain that I was on. He was the most remarkable warrior, gentle, kind man you could ever meet. That guy spoke 5 foreign languages fluently. And when he was not captain on that submarine, when he was off like we were, his wife met him on an ocean-going sailboat, and they continued during that time off, him and her going around the world on that ocean-going sailboat, just the two of them, navigating by hand, using a sextant, not using all the electronics that he's used to on a nuclear submarine, just the old-fashioned Navy. So he was a true sailor. In fact, he had enlisted as an enlisted man, had tattoos up and down his arms, which is rare in a naval officer. It's commonplace in a Navy enlisted sailor to have tattoos. But this naval officer had started out as an enlisted man and had excelled through the ranks and through as high as an enlisted man could go, and was awarded the opportunity to go to Annapolis, went to Annapolis, way high top in his class, even went on to nuclear weapons school, and then the very select process that become a captain on a nuclear submarine. So he was a remarkable man, and he knew every man on board and everything about them. He was just that kind of person.
Okay, Paige, tell me, what was the best and worst military food you were served?
The best and the worst?
Yeah.
I think I'll start out with the worst. I, like most young sailors, and before I had rank and had training in my specialty, I was what they call a seaman. Every seaman has to spend a certain amount of time mess cooking for the rest of the Navy. Every sailor, young sailor, gets his tour of duty in a kitchen or in what we call a scullery. Well, I got assigned to a ship base. A land base kitchen that fed 5,000 shipyard workers and sailors 3 meals a day. That is a lot of food and a lot of people. It was unbelievable. And I had a job in there that my job was stirring the food to keep it from sticking to the pots with a boat paddle. And it was huge. It was bigger than me and just full of food. And you had to keep churning it and paddling around with it. I just couldn't. I lost weight the whole time I was doing that. I couldn't stand being around all that raw food cooking and the smells. So I didn't do well, so I got penalized. But it actually was a promotion to me. I got sent to the scullery, and there we got to wear rubber aprons and boots, and we had water hoses, and we would wash all the dishes and utensils, and we could spray it down with the water and then run it through the machines. And if the other sailors didn't put their stuff in the right order, I'd wet them down with the water hose.
Oh my gosh. No, you did not.
But the best food I had was on board the submarine. Navy submarines are known for their gourmet food and cooking. Their Navy cooks on a submarine are trained in France. They're trained as chefs.
Really?
Yeah, they sure are. And they can cook and do anything. And we also would have international meals. They would pick a country and we'd have their specialty. That was eating is about the only joy that you got on a nuclear submarine other than your work. There's just nothing to do. So they were very creative with what they fed us and what they offered to us.
What was your favorite?
Well, I'm a seafood guy, and we always had plenty of fish and shrimp and lobster. That boat carried cases of lobster, and I ate a lot of lobster.
Can you share any memorable experiences or stories? Anything that stands out that you'd like to share?
Probably the one thing that really struck in my mind was we were leaving the island of Guam. There's a submarine tender there that we got replenished with. We'd been replenished. We're going to sea. We go out about 20 miles. We got surface protection. Other boats are watching us. We got aircraft protection flying over us because we're very vulnerable when we're on the surface. When we're underwater, you can't find us. Russian ships and trawlers and spy ships sit out there trying to see what we're doing and to listen to us so that they can record what our boat sounds like. It's called your signature. Every boat has a signature. And so we're going out, and we're topside, and we're within several hundred yards of this Russian warship. And we dipped the flag, and we saluted as we sailed past them. And they lined the decks like they were honoring us. And all at once, they dumped garbage. They dumped their garbage right offshore, overboard between us and them. And that just showed their contempt for us, the Russians, this Russian warship. Just utter contempt. We were being friendly to them, and then we just ignored them. We pulled the plug and dove and left. But they were our enemy.
We were in the Cold War.
Yes, in the Cold War. Yeah.
Tell me a funny story that could only happen in the military.
I'd have to go back to boot camp. boot camp, these I'll describe myself as a scared 17-year-old kid that doesn't know what's going to come next, and he's in the United States Navy, and he's told that his life and everything he is belongs to Uncle Sam. And he said, and that hair, that belongs to Uncle Sam, and I want every bit of it. And they shave your head. Oh my gosh. And then I want them old clothes you got. And so you strip down naked, and they take all your clothes. And he said, Uncle Sam wants you to wear these. And they purposefully give you clothes that don't fit. That's what it seems like to me. And so, and you walk off carrying all your stuff, and you have to then carry it over to a table, and they give you a number. Your name changes to that number. My number is 7728033. They told you would never forget that number. I have to look up my Social Security number, but I always know that Navy number. And you put that number in all your clothes, so that's your clothes. So I thought it was just to see all these young, scared kids is what we were, buck naked with skint heads, no hair, just in the cold, dark night, being given this new equipment.
How did your military experience affect your life today?
Well, I think it all started with I was around men of the highest ethical and moral standards that I had would ever encounter. Men that was brave but humble. The idea that we're living hundreds of feet below the surface of the ocean in a little small boat, 120 of us, and we got to get along, and we do. Men taught me to read. I've got a lifelong interest in reading books and reading things, and that developed while I was on those long months out at sea. The little bit of time I would have off, I would read and learn things. And I was around men that had those same skill sets, and they had learned that, and it was passed on. So later on, I learned that the Navy taught me, and being in the United States Navy just taught me how to be obedient, how to be responsive, how to be caring, how to help somebody, how to save somebody. Also, later on, it paid for my college education. I bought my first home on the VA loan. I'm currently on VA assistance right now, and my health care is provided by VA. And so the military has been very, very good for me. Very, very good.
How did your service in the military shape who you are today, like in terms of your personality or your...
Well, I guess I would say that the skill set that God had given me originally got tested. I think that iron sharpens iron, and I was around men that of the highest moral and ethical value, fearless men, yet men that prayed, men that read the Bible, men that would not ever think about hurting somebody outside of protecting the country and serving the country. Those things were attractive to me, and of course I wanted to be like those men. I grew up as a 17-year-old kid. I grew up in the United States Navy.
So, Paige, what advice would you give someone who was considering joining the military?
Short answer to that is join. and there's reasons for that. One, you're an American. You've got there's certain things here that other people in the world will never have or appreciate or even know about, and you've got it and you take it for granted, and it's not. It's not free. Freedom is not free. It must be earned and protected. And I said the other thing is, that especially to my grandchildren and initially to my son, see the world. It's the most exciting place in the whole wide world. We like Eastern North Carolina. I love Eastern North Carolina, but to go out onto the ocean where there's nothing but a horizon, and the closest land is over 1,000 miles away. To see things like that, to see the power of God during those storms out at sea, waves 30, 40, 50 feet high. When you see the waves on the surface, waves are also underwater. That submarine can go down to 100 feet or 200 feet or 300 feet or wherever, and it will bounce around because of the wave action. You have to work hard to hold a level course during a storm because it's pulling you up and pushing you down. The same thing it does on the surface. So, but anyway, a payback on that is a veteran out of the military service today is very well appreciated and cared for. Not so much like when I got out during the Vietnam War area. They were not respected, not treated very well. But that's changed today. To be a veteran today is an honor and it's recognized. And it's a privilege, too, to have served. So I would say to any young man, go serve. You'll be taught so much. You'll learn so much. You'll see so much. It puts a college education in the trash can. It cannot even compare. I've had both, and I know the difference.
Well, I really appreciate you spending time with me and talking with me and our listeners. And it's an honor to be able to get to know you better. Appreciate it. Thank you, Paige.
Thank you, Mary. Appreciate your interest in veterans.
Thanks again for tuning into the Voices of Vets podcast today. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes of real vets and their stories. And don't forget to visit our website, voicesofvets.us, where you can check out the photo gallery and more.